And hello to all my Sagittarius friends. I would like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for September of 2021. Now today they have dialed up a storyline spread. It is a big, wide net, a scatter shot across all the different Sagittariuses. Really the whole idea is to find a story that's right for you. So there may be a few that don't resonate, and that's okay, because it's all about finding the one that does. I have had some feedback that people say multiple stories do resonate with them, and that is possible. I think it's more rare. So really we're just looking for the one. And by doing it this way, it's a good way to get more accurate descriptions in a general reading. So we're going to get into that. We're also going to conclude your reading with a yes or no spread. So I need to tell you about that right now. That way you can start thinking about what your yes or no question is. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, well, how are you going to answer that when you recorded, ahead of time? Well, that's not how things work in the quantum field. So you can actually ask at any time as you're building up to the reading, and all, time is an illusion. So really it's all the same. And I'm going to be pulling the energy from that at the end. So finding the context is key, because obviously I don't know your question or all the other Sagittarius's question either. So they have to kind of set it up in a way that I can tell you different things so that it can trigger certain things for the yes or no. So that's exciting. It's rare. It doesn't happen often, but we're going to end the reading with that. So right now, I'm going to pull you in so you can watch. I have the cards already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save time. Go ahead and hit the like button and build up the energy in here. Here we go. What I'm doing now are my ritual cuts. It basically cuts the deck into 3 different pieces, puts them back together in a separate order, and that satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. And then they're ready to run. So storyline spread for Sagittarius, September. Let's see what we got. Looking like a very backwards month for you guys. Just kidding. We're going to adjust this perhaps. Yeah, it's looking like we will. So we have, in this case, 5 out of the 6 cards inverted. It is taught that when it is that high of a percentage that we're supposed to revert them all back upright. So that's what I'm doing now. Keeping the same order, though. The order is very important. So there's our core of the storyline, and now we're going to expand on it. I know it looks small right now, but it gets quite large quite fast. So let's see what we have here. This is going to be a standalone. This all goes together like in one story, and so does this. So we're looking at 3 different stories. That's how we're going to set up. This is obviously going to be the big one. Getting some more information here, some clarification cards. Well, this one turned out to be pretty large as well. And then this one's going to be a little one right there. A couple gold cards, some Oracle Angel cards, just to add that little extra oomph. A little bit more detail here. So there's our 3 stories for Sagittarius. And we're ready to run. Let's go back to the wide angle. Let's get to work. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see. I'm going to start with the small story and kind of work my way up. I do that basically so we can spend the most time on the biggest theme. Story 2 and 3 are going to be about equal length. It originally looked like it was going to be 1, but now it's kind of, they're equal-footed. At any rate, I do have a small one. That's where we're going to start. Let's see. Okay, story number 1, we have a lot of Sagittariuses that are going to be dealing with certain level, a message coming in regards to money, health, or even it can be loved ones. I do have the Death card. It's going to be a super rare definition of the card. I really usually don't read the Death card like a physical death. It's usually more clean slate, like a brand new beginning, just like death is. It's, energetic. The first thing that they're showing is beginning of the month. That you're seeing this occur, that For a lot of you, I'm tying it the most to health or finances. You're seeing this completely get renewed or needing to be renewed. So I don't know if this is like a health situation where you've let things go and it needs to be redone in some way, or things need to be rethought out, or you just need to start from scratch in regards to health. That's what a lot of you are doing. Some of you are doing the same exact thing, except with your finances, budgeting, gutting, things you don't need, completely starting from scratch. It's one of the two things, really, Sagittarius. Now we're taking takes pictures sometimes on its own if I don't turn it off. A lot of you Sagittariuses are completely gutting your finances. It's one of the two. If you're here in story number 1. Now, we have story number 2 and 3 as well. So if this doesn't attach to you, don't fret. I mean, we got more coming up. But for the ones that attach to story 1, here's kind of the advice I have for you. They have comfort coming up here. Basically, that this is a time of healing and a time of transformation. Things are supposed to change for a reason here. So if your finances, if you feel like it's financial, get to work on that. Don't delay, don't wait, don't waste time, don't procrastinate. If it's health, same thing. Really, they're calling for a complete gutting of the old, rebirth of the new. So whether it's health or financial for you in story number 1, really the main thing that I have to focus on is that they say that you see this, you have the sight, you have the knowledge, you can see this. So I'm not telling you of anything you're not aware of. If it's not obvious that I'm talking about you here in story number 1, it's just not your story. It's basically what it is. So I have a page basically pointing to her eyes. That's telling me that you see this. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So find comfort in knowing that this is a good time for you to do that. They're calling on it. Perfect time for me to talk about the moon cycles. I normally don't do it this early, but this is new moon energy, guys, all the way, 100%. We have the new moon coming in on September 6th. I always give you guys a little moon cycle review of what's going on, kind of a forecast for the month. September 6th, Labor Day, new moon. Perfect time to bring something new into your life, such as this. You're doing new health, you're doing new finances, whatever it is. Bring it in at the beginning of the month. They key on this. They really want this at the beginning of the month. They don't want you to wait. Okay. Now, full moon energy, we'll talk more about that perhaps as we go on, but we have the full moon coming in on September the 20th. Anytime toward the end of the month is a good time to get anything out of your life that just doesn't work for you anymore. Could be people, could be things, could be emotional baggage, it could be habits, thought processes, whatever. Get it out toward the end of the month. Those cycles are eventually going to change toward the end of the year. They've kind of been this way for a little while. I did put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. That is a very good reference guide and tool that you can use to implement positive change into your life. You can get that absolutely free just by signing up for the newsletter. It's at the very bottom of my website, scottsagent.com. You put in your first name, first initial of your last name, your email address, send it off, and I send you back your newsletter as well as the moon cycle cheat sheet. And that's a perfect tool to use. And since it's free, can't beat free. I send one newsletter a month. Pretty simple stuff just for updates, and also make sure you follow the Facebook page because I'm doing giveaways now every single month on there. So here we go. Story number 2. Story number 2, the first thing that they're talking about is that this is mostly a work-related thing for a lot of you Sagittariuses that are working. They're talking about an imbalance. They say that it's kind of a mix because we have, on the one hand, they say that you do a really good job with being authoritative with your work. You're really kind of strong-minded, perhaps stubborn with your work, and they view that as like, that's fine. This doesn't really need a lot of attention. What they're saying what needs a lot of attention is that there is an imbalance going on between two different areas of your life, and work is obviously one of these. So I don't know if this is like work and health, or like work and finances, or work and love, which would also be family, or what. But the scales are doing this. So you're either working too much and it's affecting another area of your life, or the opposite. Well, I feel like it's really more of the first, is that you're working hard because they say you have great authority over it. For some of you, it may be the opposite. You may not be doing so well with work, but I feel like it's really the other way around. So you guys are doing good with work, and they want you to put perhaps a little bit more oomph into another area of your life. Perhaps it's love. Let me look ahead and see what else I have here. Yeah, they're not really specific, so it's going to be different across the spectrum, really, of Sagittarius. Really, they just say that you do this balancing act and you're really having a hard time juggling it. So don't work yourself to death. Don't work yourself too hard. Make sure that you have time for your family, your loved ones, etc. Your finances are probably least affected, but make sure your health is not. Make sure you leave enough time for your health. And that may also tie into story number 1 in some form. So just something to keep in mind. They have the moon energy coming up here with story number 2. So despite your great authority over work, it's going to be perhaps a weird, mysteriously complex work month for you in September. It's going to be a little abnormal for my Sagittariuses. Probably a good thing for you to know that in advance. I know it doesn't sound good. It may not be good, but at least you kind of now expect it versus be surprised by it and just be completely taken off guard. Really, they're saying to take inventory of like what's going on, change the things that are unbalanced. Again, they're bringing up balance. Repeating balance. They really want you to balance this work life with whatever else is being phased, whatever else is coming up. We have a sort of imprisonment. They're saying with work, you're going to be a little bit bound and confined. For a lot of you, this is a good thing, though, because, when you have a lot of work, that usually translates into a lot of money. So I feel like this is, just like I said at the beginning, not so much financial. It's affecting other areas of your life negatively, perhaps love or health. Money seems to be okay. So as you're tied down to this idea, or not idea, but your work center, and what they're talking about, work is different for everybody. Work, enterprise, area of study, college, for some of you, retirement. It all falls under the same work corner. So you're a little bit bound up in September. It's good to know that so you can expect it. The other kind of factor we have here is for some of you, they talk about a long distance move, something to consider. It's going to be a rarer definition of the card, but long distance move is one of the definitions. For everybody else, it's more of waiting for the next chapter of your life to arrive. It's just not here now in September. So that's important if you're trying to get another job or improve, get a promotion, something like that. It's basically saying the time is not right now. So we'll check into that maybe again in October and see what they say about that. But basically right now they want you to take inventory and find balance with work and how it affects your other areas. That's story number 2. Story number 3. A lot of my Sagittarius are really concerned about a choice between 2 different directions or 2 different paths. Perhaps that also ties into the yes or no where we're going to conclude. But the reason that this card comes up is basically they're saying that it is not as complex as you're making it out to be. It seems like it's a huge thing to you. To them, they kind of look at where you're going, and no matter which way you go with whatever is weighing on your mind right now as far as decisions in September, they're saying by looking ahead that you're going to end up at kind of the same spot. So it's almost kind of like a moot point. So don't really sweat the small stuff. I know it doesn't feel small, but just keep in mind that either way it's going to be kind of the same thing. It's going to work itself out the way it's supposed to. You just can't see it right now is what they're saying. I have in this card, it's showing the lady's eyes are like fogged up or like clouded. So you're just not seeing you're not seeing the outcome right now. And that's okay. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know how it works to use it. It's just like electricity is the example I usually use. Very few people really know how electricity works, but everybody knows how to turn a light switch on and off. So that's kind of like this. You don't have to know everything to just, take it day by day, take things a day at a time, a step at a time, and so forth. They really say you need to nurture your thoughts this month. This is a highly feminine card too, so a lot of my women Sagittariuses, especially here, really kind of nurture your mental health and your, a lot of you, just make sure you're being true to yourself. You're not acting in a way that's out of character for you, perhaps, or even, don't be masked up to the point where you're like, you're acting like somebody that you're not, kind of like masked, like costume masked. So just nurture your thoughts and your mental health here in story number 3. We also have the High Priestess card coming in blocked. That tells me even more that there's just information being withheld from you right now. It may be that spirit world is withholding it from you for a purpose, or it could be that you're just not ready for it. It's the divine timing thing. Or maybe you just have to go through the steps and kind of get all the puzzle pieces yourself. I'm not sure what it is, but they show that again here in the High Priestess. That kind of ties it all in. I also have here the card of theft, loss, and also deceit. So when that happens, sounds scary. It's really just more of a preemptive thing. It's saying that you're high probability for these things this month. So, it sounds bad, but I like it when it comes up because it's trying to get you to avoid this. So lock up your house, lock up your car. Don't leave stuff laying around, valuables. Keep track of your keys. In this picture, the bird is carrying a nest of keys because if you lose something, it's just like somebody stole it from you. The end result is you don't have it anymore. So really just keep an eye on theft, loss, and deceit. And yeah, pretty much just eyes open is what I want you to look out for. I don't want you to worry about it, but I want you to be aware of it. We have leadership coming up. It's basically time to assume leadership power here and guide others. It's an interesting mix in this group here because I'm not really sure where to attach it, to be honest with you. I'm getting the vibe mostly that other people are dependent on you. So it's really a time when you have to, like I said, nurture your mental health. It's because other people are relying on you and kind of looking on you in the way that you act and following your kind of your lead. Really, I think that's why leadership is coming up here. So set a good example for those who are around you and those who look up to you and, stuff like that. So that's what I have for story number 3. Good stuff there. So now we're going to get into your yes or no spread. I'm going to quickly reshuffle the cards, so I will be back in one moment. Okay, so I'm back with your yes or no. The cards have been reshuffled. I'm doing the ritual cuts right now. There we go. That satisfies that, and here we go. So your yes or no is basically we're going to do 2 yes, 2 no's. We're looking for factors here. Remember your question, yes or no. If you didn't play, this is not for you. This is for the people who have asked questions. So another thing I need to mention too, there's my 2 yeses and my 2 nos. The other thing I need to mention as well is that Spirit does usually not like to answer these directly. Even though it's a yes or no spread, it seems like it's very like black and white. It's not. It's, they really want you to use your free will. They don't want to impede on that whatsoever, unless of course something's dangerous, and then they'll kind of forcibly say yes or no, 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 no. Normally, they just give factors, they give information so that you can make the decision that's best for you. Basically, they want you to pull the trigger on this. And this is another interesting set. We have them all blocked. I'm going to do a discard to see if we leave it that way or if we need to upright them. Yet again. Nope, they want to block for a reason. So let's see what's going on there. A couple more cards here. That's it, really. Yep, no Angel Oracle cards. We're good to run. So now first let's talk about the yes, okay? If I'm answering your question yes, here's kind of the themes, and of course the context of wrapping this into your question is going to be huge. Kind of look for a couple keys here. The first thing they talk about on the yes side is extremely busy, not a lot of relaxation, not a lot of rest. It's the card of just extreme busy worker bee energy. Working, 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 busy, 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 active, all that kind of stuff. Make sure that there's time for relaxation in here. People get too busy, they forget about how important that balance is. The other thing I have on the yes column is I have a big chunk of money that's coming in blocked. So I don't know if you asked about money, it's not the time, it's not here yet, something like that. Or it's not time to buy something new or to move the money, stuff like that. Because first I have a chunk of money, and then I also have, the knowledge is being presented to you. So this is kind of like opposite of what we talked about before, where I told the story about, the information being withheld. Here they're saying the information is being given to you. So I don't know if I just did that in the form of talking about the money or the busyness that we started with on the yes side, but they're saying that this information is not being withheld. It's available to you, and you're going to make the best decision that you see fit. So that's what I have for the yes side. On the no side, the first thing that they talk about is mentally being all bound up to something, someone, or a circumstance. Kind of getting over this. I think it's in the getting over phase instead of going in, so that's much more beneficial, or not so much beneficial, but positive to see versus going into it, because being all bound up is usually not a good thing, unless, of course, it's like a love thing where you want to be bound up with somebody else. But usually this is more restrictive, and it's not the good restrictive. It's all tied up into something, is what they're describing in the no side. The other card that they're describing is a blocked event. A blocked event of some sort. This could be a wedding, a party, a celebration, a birthday party. I like the word event because it's just more encapsulating. It kind of, has a bigger net, I guess, of the things that it's describing. It could also mean that this event is coming in blocked because it hasn't happened yet, or the timing is not right. Things get blocked for a few different reasons, so it's hard to speculate without knowing the question, but that's the energy of the no side. So we have extremely tied down, restricted, and we also have a blocked event of some sort. So hopefully between all of that, you get a little piece of your yes or no in that. And it's an interesting spread. Like I said, it doesn't come up often, but usually some pretty good stuff in there. So that's going to wrap up our storyline spread. We have been through the yes or no as well. I do these every month, so please subscribe if you have not yet. Remember to like the video. And that's going to do it for here for September, and I will see you guys in October. Looking forward to it.